We're going to get started with the question that we didn't quite finish in the program from noon today. So I'll turn it to Ron to ask about what the implications of these findings should be for Line 5 and other Enbridge projects, other pipeline projects around Turtle Island. So I'll turn it over to Ron to speak to the connections to Line 5 and other projects here.
Bonjour, everyone. This is Ron Turney. Wanted to share some information about Line 3, what we've learned, and how it's going to impact Line 5, Wisconsin and Michigan. So over the past couple of years, we've learned a lot by being on the ground, keeping an eye on frac-outs, aquifer breaches, being connected to the land out here. We live here, we're from here. This damage isn't short-term. We're seeing permanent long-term damage here to our aquifers and wetlands. We've raised the alarm to state and federal agencies, but our message has fallen on deaf ears most of the time. Many of the presentations I've had to do, it's the first time these people are seeing this kind of footage, this kind of destruction in our environment out here. This isn't something you see the DNR or pollution control sharing publicly, and you'll never see Enbridge posting something like this. And what we witnessed on Line 3 was 28 frac-outs that went reported, but we also witnessed many others that went unreported. And these are felonies in Minnesota. So Enbridge just recently pled guilty to conducting themselves in a criminal manner by misappropriating water at Clearbrook during the aquifer breach. And we have evidence of additional crimes, so they're not off the hook. During our meetings with the commissioners, DNR and MPCA, we found out that there was a serious conflict of interest. And with our meetings with Wisconsin DNR, we found out there's a similar pattern with permitting, meaning that Enbridge gets to decide who's their environmental monitor. They get to pay for them and supply them. And what we found out here in Line 3 was that 17 of the 41 monitors were former Enbridge employees or contractors, which doesn't give you a good independent oversight. And we see that same kind of problem at Line 5 in Wisconsin. According to the permit, when I asked the question, who's going to be responsible for providing monitors, they responded that Enbridge would be providing the monitors again. So this is a serious issue that led to many of the environmental impacts here at Line 3 in Minnesota. And this is what we're trying to do, trying to stop there in Line 5. Enbridge has a history of environmental damage, including one of the largest spills in Grand Rapids, another one in Kalamazoo, and many other pipelines have degrading infrastructure. So at Line 5, you're going to have the same company, you're going to have the same contractors, doing the same kind of work 24/7, trying to get that pipeline in as fast as possible. Over here in Minnesota, Enbridge and Michaels failed at 2/3 of the river crossings and released drilling mud in much of the wetlands. With the massive number of tributaries leading into the Bad River aquifer, and it is a direct threat by Enbridge and Michaels. The EPA has already stated that Line 5 would negatively impact Bad River water quality and their wild rice. That entire area is like the lungs of the Great Lakes. The sloughs, the wild rice, and the Pinocchio mountain ranges. That's an abundance of fresh water, clean water coming off those mountains through those aquifers and into the Great Lakes. We can't let another tragedy like this happen in Wisconsin and Michigan. So that's why we're out here on the ground and sharing this information with you. Miigwech.